Thank you so much to all subscribers. We've reached 3,000 subscribers within 2 months. We appreciate that. Me and the coach KB, permanent members of NXL 360. Permanent. Just like in the UN, there are people with a permanent seat. NXL 360. Okay, yeah. Guys, welcome everyone. We just saw Kaiser Chiefs as expected. But the coach will unpack. I've got the coach, the football brain. Guys, me and the coach work together. This thing of trying to divide us. No, we have the coach. We're not a team. It doesn't matter. We're a team. Guys, okay, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your support, obviously, on a serious note. Thank you so much to the comments. Thank you so much to all the guys, all the guys who are pushing this content, even on X. Guys like Constitutional First, my brother, we really appreciate you for what you are doing. You always review our content and highlight it in your huge following on X. We appreciate that, as well as the whole members on Agent, Gustavo, all the guys, Tsepo on TikTok who are pushing our content. I mean, there are so many of them. Mephisto, guys, I appreciate that. Tsepange, Santawana, Steny, guys, we appreciate. But anyways, let's start, guys. Kaizer Chiefs, as expected, played Stellenbosch at FNP Stadium. They lost 2-1, even though they scored first. One would have said in the first half, Chiefs should have scored 3 goals, but they scored 1. Second half, Gavin Hunt's side scored 2 goals. End of the story. Just like last season, Gavin Hunt with Supersport United, now called Siwelele, went to FNP, beat Kaizer Chiefs 4-1. That was it. It looks like he knows how to play against this former team. And then Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club visited Amazulu, Usuthu. Moses Mapita Stadium was the venue. The president of Amazulu, Sandile Zuma, was there. And all the big people in football, obviously from a Sundown side, and then obviously Flemingberg and all the guys, they were happy to see Sundowns getting that 1 goal. One would say Amazulu would have equalized, would have scored in the first half, but they didn't. That's why they lost 1-0. Coach, how did you see this game, Coach? Starting with Kaizer Chiefs, the home side, then we go to Stellenbosch. What was your assessment, Kaizer coach, on the match, and then what impressed you from the Chiefs side and Stellenbosch side?
Yeah, man, thank you for thanking all the subscribers and our people. You just forgot Udibaba there. But yeah, we'll get to it.
Hey, Tibaba Wakaya, what Asia?
Yeah, well, Nadim, look, I'm surprised when you say as expected. As expected. So you expected Chiefs to lose. I didn't expect Chiefs to lose, to be honest, especially looking at the fact that
I did coach because I did coach because last season Gavin Hunt beat them. Gavin Hunt just took them out of the Nedbank Cup, coach.
Okay, no, I honestly didn't expect that. I thought Chiefs would come up with a better response, looking at the fact that they lost to them in the Nedbank, and they had enough time to plan ever since that Nedbank. So I honestly thought Chiefs would bounce back. The least that I expected was a draw, looking at the fact that it's a build-up to a derby game, but we all know that such games are tricky. But and you also look at the way Chiefs played in the beginning, in the first half, man. I like rightfully so. Chiefs should have scored 3, if not 2. I don't know whether to give credit to Stellenbosch defense. I don't think that's the case. I don't think Stellenbosch defense blocked any serious ball. I didn't think that. You look at the chance that Dupree scored. I feel he should have scored that one. I mean, he did everything right. He killed the keeper. Why rush? The keeper is already gone. Why rush it and then you kick it outside? And there's too many chances that they could have scored. Hence, what I'm saying, at least they could have went to halftime 2-0 because the one that we were talking about, Dupree's goal, that was an open net. I don't understand how do you miss that. But you also give credit to the goal, Silva, man. Nadim, for me, I think that ball, that cross that was played in by Ulilepo, that's a quality ball. That's a ball that the keeper is not sure whether he wants to come out, whether he should stay on the line. And one could say, but well, there was a deflection from Uliwusa. Rightfully so, there was a touch from Uliwusa, but you need to be there in order for you to take those chances. So I'm impressed with Flavio Silva. His stats are not as poor as we made him to be before he was even touching the field on South Africa. Everyone was just shouting, Chiefs went all the way to a country that football is not well, and they brought a strike. And if you look at his numbers, he's on 5 goals. his numbers are even better than the opposition on the other side. You see, so I think he's doing well for a player whom many didn't expect much from. And I honestly think Ulilepo as well. Lilepo is very dangerous. Whenever he goes forward, he looks very dangerous. And I think collectively, Chiefs first half they played well. They should have scored. That's how football is won. Football is a game of results. If you don't get to score, then it gets to be difficult for you. I don't think, what do you call this? Yes, we saw a chance where what do you call this, Stellenbosch, where they hit the upright, but other than that, I don't think there was much from Stellenbosch in the first half. We saw the coach even having to make a first half substitute where we saw Butsaga coming in. I think that was just to show that Chiefs is really on top of Stellenbosch. So I don't understand how Chiefs didn't go 2-0 up, but yeah, it's football. Lebohang Maboe Nadim, I don't think we will forever praise this boy, or we are praising him enough. Lebohang Maboe is he's just class, man. He's just class. He just shows that there's experience. Yes, we know he left Chiefs as a young boy. He traveled, went to Mamelodi Sundowns, but the way he plays, you can see. And then Cheslake, I was surprised to see Cheslake starting, Nadim. Again, ahead of a derby, this guy hasn't played the whole season, and then he comes in as that. I think he's a fair player. I don't want to say much. I think he's a fair player. I think there's not much that he did, but there's not much wrong that also he did. He was just safe. I mean, he had a great shot at goal, great technique, weight of the ball, everything was just perfect. There's just that the keeper saved. I think he's a fair player. We must just keep an eye on him. Hopefully he will play more. The only thing that I'm concerned of is, was he playing more as a 10 or more as a or were they playing a double 8? Because I didn't see him too much in those dangerous areas or in the pockets. But overall, if you were to ask me over 10, I think I would give him 5. I think he had a fair game. And then the other player that I wanted to touch on, and I think we need to give it to him, is Solomons. Solomons running on the right. He's doing up and down. He's doing up and down. He has that hunger in him to say, you know what, we want to make sure that we score. I think it's impressive as well. The defense was quietly impressive in the first half until it went to the second half. So for me, I think Chiefs played well. They just lost the game in the second half. Also, Nadim, I don't think it's just a loss. I think Gavin Hunt was smart. If you look at the way Stellenbosch scored their first goal, again, great cross. Great cross from Devin Titus to Upile, who tapped in. I think Stellenbosch came back in the second half with a plan. They had an idea on how they wanted to go at Chiefs. They scored very early in the second half. And you know, Nadim, the moment you score as early as the way Stellenbosch did, it gives you time. It means you've got too much time for you to even go for the second goal. And like I said, let's not take away the quality of that cross that was played. It was in between the keeper and the defenders. It was played on the floor. Everything about that cross was just nice. It was just there for a player to touch, and then it's a goal. I think even if the defender tried, it was going to be an own goal. But overall, I think you and I can agree that a Gavin Hunt team, you can tell. You can see that's a Gavin Hunt team. The way they play, the way they move the ball quick, Devin Titus using pace, looking for aerial balls. I think it was clear to see, but I don't blame them, Nadim. Gavin Hunt needs to play a game that will make sure that he survives relegation, and I think that's exactly what he did. The second goal, brilliant taken. Devin Titus, what a good goal. He seems like he's enjoying scoring against Kaizer Chiefs, because if you remember, even Nedbank he scored a scorcher of a goal. So I think overall it was just an okay game, but let's give congrats where it's due. Stellenbosch did very well, but yeah, I think Chiefs lost it when they had it.
Yeah, no, coach, you are absolutely correct. Kaizer Chiefs first half, they created a lot of chances. That just matters that, coach. Football is a game of statistics. You get your chances, you convert them, it matters. Once you don't use your chances, another one will punish you. Even if you look at the statistics first half, Stellenbosch didn't even have a shot on goal. Kaizer Chiefs has 6, coach. Then total shots, 8 Kaizer Chiefs, and then 3 Stellenbosch. On target, that's what I'm more concerned about. Kaizer Chiefs had 6 and Stellenbosch 0. It looks like it's one of those matches. Actually, we did a live on TikTok. I told people that this game is not over because I know that Chiefs started the game on a high note. And they've got a game on Saturday where they are facing Orlando Pirates. I don't think they're gonna keep the same tempo, and they didn't. And then that's where Stellenbosch coming. If you look at the second half, coach, in terms of chances created, it's 3-3. It was almost even. And then I agree with you. It was very good to see Chinslet playing, because I mean I heard that he's selling what soccer, what. It was like he's doing other things besides football, but he was hired. And I agree with you also. Silva hired from Indonesia. Indonesia is known for earthquake and many things, not football. But 5 goals already this season, and most of his goals have been very key. Against Durban City, winning goal. Against Arrows, where he scored a goal, he nearly went to the sea. The way he celebrated, again, winning goal. Dupree needs to leave Kaizer Chiefs, who, as a matter of fact, is not a Kaizer Chiefs player. Actually, Dupree is costing Kaizer Chiefs. It's unnecessary. It has reached a point where it's so painful to get to the Kaizer Chiefs fan, where you see a Chiefs player missing so many chances. No. Actually, Kaizer Chiefs management, they always make mistakes. I didn't understand the coach in the beginning of the season when they renew Dupree. They were thanking him for what? This is the guy who joined Kaizer Chiefs, has never scored more than 8 goals a season in the league. It's always like 3, 4, 5 goals. Then they renew his contract. For what? For me, it doesn't make sense, honestly speaking. It looks like, I mean, some of the things that they treat players not the same at Kaizer Chiefs. You get to a point where you feel you believe it. What is it so special with Dupree? Because for me, it looks like every time this man is working against Kaizer Chiefs. Like today, he should have scored 2 goals. He didn't. And then as a result, Kaizer Chiefs lost. It's not like Kaizer Chiefs lost. They deserve to lose. For me, they don't deserve to lose, coach. They created enough chances. I cannot blame Ben Yusuf and Cedric Katse. The team was entertaining in the first half. I even switched off from the Sundowns game and watched Kaizer Chiefs because I found it very interesting. But coach, and then also on Stellenbosch, what is it that impressed you before we move to the Sundowns one?
Well, Nadim, before we get into the Stellenbosch one, there's something I always say about coaches. You look at the force-ups that they made. I honestly felt that it brought a whole lot of pace. It looked like they had an idea of what they wanted to do. And then you question, at first I thought, okay, well, these coaches, they want to go for it. When they brought Userino for my boy, I thought, well, they are going at it. They are leaving Cele alone. But if you look at how they concede the second goal, and then you then say, ish, had my boy been there, it could have been something different because they considered almost from his position. So you also say, hey, well, it's the coach's job. It's the coach's job. You make decisions. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work out. So like I'm saying, maybe one could have said, I mean, it was the last 5 minutes, it was 1-1, maybe just take a point. But they felt, no, we needed 3 points. And then they substituted Maboy, they brought in an attacking player, and then, it happened. They considered from Maboy's position. For me, if he was there, I don't think that ball would have even been a pressure. But it is what it is. Well, with Gavin Hunt's side, like I said, with the Gavin Hunt
No,
team,
coach, before you go to Kavina, I want to ask you a question, coach. Can you say that is a mistake that they did, or they did what they had to do?
No, it was a mistake, Nadim. It's a mistake. I feel it's when you have those players like Abu Serino, if he's fully fit, you feel pressurized that he needs to play. One, he's well experienced. We know how good he was or he has been, but he hasn't reached this form at Kaizer Chiefs, the same form that he had at Mamelodi. And I feel it was just unnecessary pressure from themselves because you cannot say they were trying to arrest my boy. With the last 5 minutes, it didn't make sense. I think it was a mistake that they made. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, one, Thabo Cele hasn't been playing. So if you're leaving Cele alone in the middle field to say you do the marking, then it's already danger. I feel it's a mistake. But like I said, it's a mistake that is understandable. One thinks it's 1-1. You are thinking, okay, let's go with them. Let's just get a win and get over it. But then you get hit. It's the coaches. They should just take it. Oh yeah, moving on to Stellenbosch, Nadim. I was impressed. At first, I questioned to say, Kevin Hunt, you're bringing off this guy first half, 33 minutes. You bring him off, and then you bring on Ubutzak. And I thought, okay, what is happening? And then I looked at it. If you really look at it, Chiefs was starting to attack them more on the left side, and I think that's where Dupree was coming in. That's why he even missed those chances. But Kevin Hunt quickly picked it up, and it's like, you know what? Let me fix this and then we'll get it. And then that's why we saw Chiefs moving to the right side. So I'll applaud to the coach and say, well done, coach. You picked that very well. And that's that's what a coach needs to do. You need to, if you have issues, you don't have to wait for first half. especially for experienced player like Owen Yost. I'm sure he understood. And then you go, you look at how, what do you call this? The boy who scored the goal, the second goal, Nadim, what's his name? I'm forgetting him. Devin
It's
Titus.
It's
Yeah, Titus.
Titus.
Yeah, Titus.
Titus.
Yeah, Devin
Yeah.
Titus. You
Is
look
the
at how
player that Orlando Pirates should have is the player that Pirates should have signed, not the other one.
yeah, maybe we would have made it different. You look at how Titus Nadim, he seems to be enjoying to play against Kaizer Chiefs. I don't know why. He's you know, majority of the time players that play like this against Chiefs and Pirates, they end up at either one of the Soweto teams. So the way he keeps pressing them, the way he crossed the first goal, I think that was just a marvelous goal to see. I mean, that cross, Nadim, it's not everyone who can play such a weighted pass or such a weighted cross in between the defenders and the goalkeeper. I'll give it to him. And then going into the second one, that's just a beautiful goal. Again, I'll give it to the coach. Look at what he does. He brings up a Zilumdag and then Utiwani comes in on the left. And that's exactly where they press and exactly where they got their goal. So again, you have to give it to Kevin Hunt to say, well, he read the game very well, and he won it. As for Stellenbosch, Nadim, you know, teams that are surviving relegation, and that's one thing that have learned. If you are surviving relegation, the most important thing is points more than how you play. And I think that's exactly what Gavin Hunt plays. Gavin Hunt plays for results, not the identity or all those things that we want. He plays for the results. And if the results matches him, then he'll always take it. I mean, if you look at the points that he's on now, he's running away from the relegation zone. And that's exactly what you need. I mean, a team like Stellenbosch, you see Mabasa was not even there. We know Nda is there, but they didn't play. You see, so it's good to see that Stellenbosch has a chance of, what do you call this, of surviving relegation. It's good to see Ulibusa playing regularly. You can see the legs are no longer there, but he can still give them something until the end of the season. But when challenged, you can see that no experience is there. He uses experience. So I think congrats to Stellenbosch. Like you said, Gavin Hunt seemed to have known how to capitalize against Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, indeed, coach. Congratulations to Stellenbosch. Congratulations to Gavin Hunt. I mean, I agree with the coach. There's no need for fancy football at Stellenbosch is to climb the ladder. The way it is, coach, 17 games played for Stellenbosch, win 5, drawn 5, lost 8. It looks Gavin Hunt is unbeaten in the matches that he has played so far in the league. Obviously, first game, he beats Kukune 1-0. Second game, drew with Makesi. Now beating Kaizer Chiefs. What can you rate the coach if he can beat teams like Kukune and Kaizer Chiefs away? Hey, coach.
Well, Nadim, that's what I'm saying, and this is what I always appreciate about experienced coaches. He understands that as much as a lot of us are saying no, he needs to pack and leave. His coaching is not what, but he's a well-organized team, well-organized team. I looked at their stats, the away stats before the Chiefs game. They had won 2, drawn 2, and lost 3. So already it tells you that they are really on a 50-50. Now they've won 3 and they went and won at FNB. You see, so I think we need to give him credit to say, well, if you look at him, where did he get Stellenbosch? And where is Stellenbosch right now? So what I'm reading into this is the team is well coached, Nadim. It's a team that understands what is needed. And if they have to defend, they will definitely defend. So I think it's a team that, like I said before, when Gavin Hunt went there, that Stellenbosch is going to survive relegation. I see them back in the Betway Premiership next season. I mean, they were knocked out in the Nedbank. What more do they have? They just need to focus on their status, and then the rest will be history.
Yeah, I agree with you, coach. The rest is history. Let's move on to Mamelodi Sundowns. They won 1-0 against Usutu. Obvious, coach. That means they are back on top of the log. Masanta won the last 4 league matches. Obvious, notable one is Orlando Pirates at FNP Stadium, where they won 2-1. Now they go to KZN. They beat Amazulu 1-0. Before then, they beat Kukune away in Polokwane 2-0. Before that, they beat Orbit College at home. So in the last 4 matches, Sundowns have now won all those matches, which is impressive, coach.
Yes, Nadim, very impressive. Very, very impressive, especially looking at how the log is now. For me, this is exciting. This is exciting moments. Equal number of games, equal number of points, just the goal different with the goal scored forward. Now, this is where you will see the experience coming in. This is where you will see the character coming in. So I think for a team like Mamelodi Sundowns that also got knocked out during the weekend by TS Galaxy, you look at their starting lineup alone, it shows you that the coach wanted to go back. But a noticeable change into that team is Utsigi. Tsiki coming in to start, and you're thinking, okay, Resino, Santos, they are all out. Tsiki starting the game, but I see Morena getting injured, and then Santos coming in. I think this is the time where Mamelodi Sundowns now needs to change their gear. I mean, we saw Nadim, or we saw on the highlights, Ungwenya. Ungwenya could have scored. There was a ball that was crossed to him, and Williams made a crucial save. And this is what I said against Orlando Pirates again. Sometimes, Nadim, we are saying players are not clinical, but Ungwenya did everything right. If we are being honest, he did almost everything. Maybe one can say he should have directed, but if you look at the cross, the way it came up, at any given day, any other goalkeeper, it could have been a goal, you see. So Williams is winning points for Mamelodi Sundowns. As much as he's not scoring, but he's making crucial saves, and he's proving why he is the number one goalkeeper currently. So that's why I'm saying, in most cases, before we say, no, Amazulu missed their chances, yes, they missed them, but did they just shoot outside, or were they good saves that were made? I think Ngwenya did, for me, he did well, but unfortunately, Williams was there and he saved it. And then you see Sundown scoring at the dying minute with Marcelo Allende, an unlikely scorer, unlikely person who you would think, even if games were to start and someone would say who'd score, I don't think majority will call Allende. But yeah, he comes in as a sub, again Nadim, and he scores a goal. So you see, I think the reputation or the trends of the coach, Miguel Cardoso, are coming to show, oh, okay, now he will come in as a sub. Jaden Adams is a starter currently ahead of him, and he comes in and he scores. I think this is what championship needs. You need each and every player. You need players that understand that even coming from the bench, you must make an impact. And I think that's exactly what Allende did. But as well, Nadim, as much as I didn't watch the game, like I said, I just watched the highlights. But you can tell, man, Amazulu is a well-coached team. It's a well-coached team. I think Athaswan is doing a very, very good job. You look at the log where they are at, you know they are still in the Nedbank Cup. And I think the draw kind of like almost favor them. So Amazulu has a chance. I think we need to give credit to Umangeta. He's doing a very good job with the youngsters' mix of experience. And yeah, he was just unfortunate to have lost to Mamelodi Sundowns. But like I always say, experience in most cases will always prevail in the game of soccer. So with Cardoso as well, Nadim, pressure might be going a bit off. He's back where Sundowns, no, people would say where Sundowns belongs, but I'm glad that it's equal games, Nadim. Equal number of games, equal number of points. Let the race begin.
Yes, coach, let the race begin. Obviously, same number of points now, same number of games. Sundowns obviously leading because of goals scored. And then if you look at the goals conceded, Pirates, one would say they've conceded less goals. Very, very interesting. I want to ask you, coach, about Brian Leon. We saw him scoring 2 beautiful brace against MC Alger, then Orlando Pirates. TS Galaxy, Sundowns are knocked out. He's not scoring. Knocked out of the Nedbank Cup, coach. Sundowns lost 2-0. Obviously, came in second half, he didn't score. And today, he started the game, he didn't score. One of my friends from Lekwala Kwala FM, ST Mashabane, was saying, have you seen, what is it that TS Galaxy taught you about him? For me, it looks like he can be marked. If you are careful, if you properly monitor him. No, I'm not referring to Orlando Pirates where CM maybe one will say and CBC gave him a bit of a chance. If you properly mark the coach, it looks like he's out of options because 2 games in a row, it looked like he's gonna score every game, but 2 games in a row failed to score. What's your take on that?
Nadim, sometimes tactics, when you're too tactical to the game, when you approach the game too tactical, you end up missing the basics of the game. Hence why I said Sundowns, when they played Pirates, they were cheating. They were playing with decoys. But now you come up against TS Galaxy that knows that, you know what, we need. No one is giving us a chance to beat Sundowns. So we are going to man mark this guy. But if you are having Orlando Pirates, they come with pride and ego to say, no, we can match Sundowns pound to pound. And that's where he will kill you. Because now you're going to leave those spaces. But smaller teams, Nadim, smaller teams will deploy to say, hey, Coach KB, you are marking Nadim. Make sure you stay with him. Wherever he moves, you mark him. One-on-one marking, basics of football. So what I've picked up is in big games, he will score, especially with up against coaches that have got a character or a big personality, because such coaches will always depend more on the tactic side than more to basics. You see, what do I mean? If you look at the goals he scored against Pirates, they were all decoys. He was always running behind, even against MC Alger. It's all because the team needs to be well structured and well tactical. When you're playing against a small team, structure, yes, matters, but they always say, okay, we will keep the structure. You, Coach KB, you just stay with Leon. You frustrate him, you stay on him, and that's how it works. I think against the small teams, yes, he might struggle, but where the game is too tactical, I think he will always have an upper hand.
Yeah, no, interesting. Two games that we saw. Kaizer Chiefs obviously lost at FNB Stadium against Stellenbosch. Gavin Hunt, congratulations, coach, 2-1 away win. It's very clear that now Stellenbosch might survive relegation in the first round. It looks like they are as good as gone. And then obviously Sundowns, tough game. I expected a draw. I won't lie. I expected Amazulu to give them a draw, but obviously it didn't happen at the end. Ngwenya missed a chance. Allende scored. That's how football works. And then the next game now is Kaizer Chiefs facing Orlando Pirates on Saturday at FNB Stadium. Who's going to come on top? We'll come up with a preview very soon.